Welcome back to our channel. We are here with Psychology Chapter 1, Part 2. So let's get started. Intelligence. It is an interplay of nature and nurture. We have already discussed intelligence in our Part 1 video. So, nature here is referring to the heredity or the genes of the individual, which are given to the individual from the biological parents. And nurture here is referring to the environment in which the individual is being brought up, which is given to the individual from the adoptive parents. So, evidence comes from studies done on twins or on adopted children. And a child's intelligence is more similar to that of the biological parents. Biological parents are the parents who have given birth to the individual. Now, in the table below, we can see the type and the correlation. So, identical twins reared together. Identical twins, which means they are similar in nature, reared together means that they are also similar in nurture. So, their correlation will be 0.9. Then we can see identical twins reared apart. Now their nature is same, but their nurture is different. So their correlation will be 0.72. Then fraternal twins, twins that do not look alike, reared together, have a correlation of 0.6. Then siblings reared together have a correlation of 0.5. Then siblings reared apart have a correlation of lot less, which is 0.25. Next slide. When children grow, their intelligence level moves closer to that of their adoptive parents. तो अभी हमने पढ़ा कि biological parents बहुत important role play करते हैं intelligence में. पर जैसे बच्चा बड़ा होता है, as and when the children grows and he requires more support and more opportunities, then adoptive parents also come into play and they also play an important part in the intelligence of the individual. Then children from disadvantaged homes adopted into richer families exhibit higher intelligence scores. तो अब कोई बच्चा डिसएडवांटेज होम्स में रह रहा है जहाँ पे उसको इतनी अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ नहीं मिल पा रही फाइनेंशियली और इमोशनली, जब वो किसी रिचर होम में अडॉप्ट होता है तो उसको वो अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ ज़्यादा अच्छी मिलती हैं, इसीलिए वो एक बेटर इंटेलिजेंस स्कोर एग्जिबिट करता है. The next point summarize what the above statement means, which means environmental deprivation lowers intelligence and a good environment increases intelligence. However, heredity sets the range for the development, which is shaped by opportunities and support. So here we can see that nature and nurture will both play an important role in intelligence. Therefore, it is known as an interplay of nurture and nature. But the heredity will set the limit for the intelligence. However, how the child blossoms will be determined by the environment. Assessment of intelligence. So now we've talked about intelligence, but how do we measure intelligence? So in 1905, Alfred Binet and Theodore Simon made a successful attempt to measure intelligence. And in 1908, they gave a concept of the mental age. Now let's discuss what is chronological age and what is mental age. Now chronological age is very basic. It is the biological age from birth. If I'm 18 years old, my chronological age will be 18. Now what is mental age? It is the measure of person's intellectual development relative to other people of the same age. So now I will see what is the development or what is the status of my brain, intellectual status of my brain compared to the other people who are also my age. Now, if I am 18 years old, my mental age can be 18, it can be more than 18 or it can be less than 18. Now, a bright child will have mental age greater than the chronological age. So, if I'm a bright child and I'm 18 years old, then my mental age will be greater than 18. But if I'm a dull child and my chronological age is 18, my mental age will be less than 18. Now, what is retardation? Retardation is 2 mental age years below the chronological age. Now, if I'm 18 years old and my mental age is 16, that will be a case of retardation. Moving on to the next slide. William Stern gave the concept of intelligence quotient or IQ. So, this is a very important question for fill in the blanks. So how is IQ measured? IQ is measured as MA upon CA into 100. So when the MA will be equal to the CA, which is the case for most of the people, the IQ will be 100. And if the MA is greater than the CA, the IQ will be greater than 100. And if the MA is lesser than CA, then IQ will be lesser than 100. Now, if chronological age of a child is 10 and the mental age is 12, we can put in the formula and we can take out the IQ. So, the IQ will be equal to 120. Okay. Now, IQ scores are distributed in such a way that most people fall in the middle range. Few people have very high or very low scores. इसका मतलब जो majority लोग होंगे उनका IQ 100 के आसपास होगा, जबकि बहुत ही कम लोगों का है तो बहुत ज़्यादा IQ होगा या बहुत कम IQ होगा. इस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की वजह से हमारा एक बेल शेप्ड कर्व बन जाता है, better known as normal curve. So it is symmetrical around a central value known as the mean. Now what is the mean IQ score? It's 100. So 90 to 110 IQ is normal intelligence, whereas below 70 is intellectual disability and above 130 is intellectual giftedness. So intelligence tests can be used to identify extremes. So intelligence tests will help us to get to know the IQ of the person, from which we will be able to identify extremes, which is intellectually gifted people and intellectually disabled people. Only 2% will have above 130 or below 70 IQ. So intellectually gifted लोग भी बहुत कम यानी कि 2% के आसपास होंगे और intellectually disabled भी बहुत कम यानी कि 2% के आसपास होंगे. Moving on to the next slide. This is the normal curve. So we can see that on the left hand side there is intellectual deficiency, which also has variations in it, which can be mild, moderate, severe or profound. Then on the right side we can see that there is intellectual giftedness, which also has levels high, average, superior and very superior. We can clearly see in the normal curve that the mean is 100, which is the average score. We can also see that the IQ is never 0. The IQ is never 0 because there will always be some response. However intellectually disabled the person may be, there will be some response to some stimuli. Then we can see in the table below there's IQ range and the percent of the population. So we can see that above 130 there's just 2% of the population, and we can see below 70 is also just 2% of the population, whereas the 90 to 109 average score belongs to almost 50% of the population. Moving on to the next slide. Variations of intelligence. So variations of intelligence has two aspects. One is intellectual deficiency and one is intellectual giftedness. So let's discuss intellectual deficiency firstly. So AAMD, which is the American Association on Mental Deficiency, views intellectual deficiency as sub-average intellectual functioning, deficits in adaptive behavior, and it is observed during the developmental period between 0 to 18 years of age. So these are the 3 points which we have to remember in this definition. एक तो IQ 70 से कम होगा, दूसरा वो अडेप्टिव बिहेवियर में प्रॉब्लम आएगी. सो हमने पहले भी डिस्कस किया है कि इंटेलिजेंस जो है वो बेसिकली अपने इन्वायरमेंट को अच्छे से अडेप्ट करना है. तो सेकंड है कि उसमें प्रॉब्लम आएगी. थर्ड है कि ये सब एग्जिबिट डेवलपमेंटल ईयर्स के ड्यूरिंग ही होगा, विच इज़ 0 to 18 ईयर्स. नाउ इंटेलेक्चुअल डेफिशिएंसी के भी उसके अंदर बहुत सारे लेवल्स हैं, विच इज़ माइल्ड, मॉडरेट, सीवियर एंड प्रोफाउंड. नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. Intellectual giftedness. So this is another extreme. So what is giftedness? Let's discuss what is giftedness. Exceptional general ability shown in superior performance in a variety of areas. So if a person is gifted, he or she is showing superior performance in a variety of areas. For instance, the person is singing very well, dancing very, very well. The person is a great sports person. So he or she is depicting intelligence or giftedness in a wide variety of areas. However, giftedness is sometimes interchangeably used with talent, which is wrong, because talent is a remarkable ability in a particular field, which means that if a person is an excellent sports person, we can call the person talented, but not gifted. So highly talented children are known as prodigies. Now, what is giftedness according to teachers? Giftedness according to teachers is a combination of high ability, high creativity and high commitment. So if a person is showing high creativity, ability and commitment, he's a gifted child. Now, characteristics of gifted children. So, how can we identify children who are gifted? So, they will display these 7 characteristics. First one is advanced thinking, questioning, and problem solving. They will solve problems very fast and they will have intellectual development higher than most of the people. Then high speed in processing information. These children will grasp and process information that is given to them very quickly. They will show superior generalization and discrimination. वो जल्दी से आइडेंटिफाई कर पाएंगे कि क्या चीज़ें सिमिलर हैं और क्या चीज़ें अलग हैं. Advanced original and creative thinking. Obviously, they will be very creative. They will develop new ideas. They will be able to understand things creatively and they will have a good imagination. High intrinsic motivation and self-esteem. They will be high on internal motivation that comes from within. So they will not it will not be necessary for them to seek extrinsic motivation. They will have very strong internal motivation and self-esteem. They will have independent and non-conformist thinking. They will have strong opinions and it will be difficult to modify their opinions because they are thinking independently. Then they will prefer solitary academic activities for long period. They will display great interest in academic activities. Now, types of intelligence tests. Now, coming to the types of intelligence tests. So, there are individual tests and group tests. So, let's discuss individual tests. Administered at one person at a time. ये एक ही जने पे administer होंगे. टेस्ट एडमिनिस्टर इस्टेब्लिशेज रैपो विद द सब्जेक्ट. सो अगर 1-to-1 बेसिस पे हो रहा है तो जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर है उसको एक रैपो बनानी पड़ेगी. ही विल हैव टू गेट टू नो द पर्सनैलिटी ऑफ द पर्सन. Answers are given in oral or in written form. Now let's come to group tests. Group tests are administered at several person at a time. And rapport building is not required. क्योंकि इतने सारे लोग हैं so it will not be possible to interact on a 1-to-1 basis. Answers are given in multiple choice format. Next slide. Verbal test, non-verbal test and performance test. So in verbal tests, subjects give verbal answers orally or in a written format. Whereas in non-verbal tests, pictures or illustrations will be used as test items. For instance, Raven Standards Progressive Matrices is a non-verbal test because we are using illustrations in that. Then performance tests require manipulation of objects in the environment to perform a task. A very good example is the course block design test. Then we come to culture fair test and culture bias test. So culture fair tests are tests that do not discriminate against individual belonging to different cultures. And culture bias tests are tests that show a bias to the culture in which they are developed in. So if we use non-verbal tests and performance tests, there is less chance of these tests being culture biased because there is no verbal means being used in them. Moving on to the next slide, misuses of intelligence tests. So intelligence tests are helping people a lot in finding out the IQ and identifying the extremes, but obviously there are some misuses and some drawbacks of the intelligence test. First is poor performance attaches stigma, thereby lowering self-esteem. अगर किसी बच्चे का IQ टेस्ट में कम स्कोर आया है तो उसकी सेल्फ एस्टीम उसे लगेगा आई एम लेसर देन अदर पीपल एंड देयर विल ऑल्सो बी स्टिग्मा अटैच्ड. देन invite discriminatory practices from parents and teachers. So parents and teachers will also discriminate on the basis of those IQ scores. So tests based in favor of higher socioeconomic classes underestimate IQ of disadvantaged sections. Then don't capture creative potentialities and practical side of intelligence. So these tests are generally based on the theoretical side and they will not capture the creative side or the imaginative side, which is one drawback of intelligence tests. And they do not relate to much success in life. So there is no clear statement कि जिसका IQ अच्छा होगा they will be successful in life. So there is no such statement. So they do not relate to success. Then we have intelligence testing in India. This is a relatively theoretical concept. These are some things that you have to learn for your fill in the blanks. So SM Mohsin constructed an intelligence test in Hindi C.H. Rice standardized Binet's test in Urdu and Punjabi. Mahala Nobis standardized Binet's test in Bengali. Long and Mehta prepared a mental measurement handbook listing out 103 intelligence tests in various languages. Then we have example of verbal tests, which is group test of intelligence by Prayag Mehta and the Bihar test of intelligence by S.M. Mohsin. Then we have example of non-verbal tests, which are Bhatia's battery of performance tests and raw man test by Pramila Pathak. So these are things that you can learn for your from the exam point of view. Thank you everyone for watching the video. Do stay tuned for part 3. Thank you.